NXT turned into a 2-hour show tonight, but not in the way you think. Find out what I mean as we review NXT for the week of September 18th, 2019 on WrestleDOWN. Hey guys, are you ready for your hot tag? Because if you are, it's definitely time to work.
Hey New Orleans, this is the franchise Shane Douglas telling you want the lowdown, the best in professional wrestling. You gotta look right here at WGS-TV. Ooh, yeah!
What's up, guys? I'm the Wrestle Gamer. Welcome back to WrestleDOWN right here on WGS-TV. Before we get to the NXT review, I want to make a quick announcement that WrestleDOWN can now be heard on major podcast sites such as Google Podcasts, Pocket Cast, and Spotify. So if you guys want to listen to us on WrestleDOWN on your favorite podcasting sites, well, those three podcasting sites, you definitely can do that. But joining me on the NXT review tonight, ladies and gentlemen, you know him as the Studling Man, Ashley. Ashley, how you doing?
Taken aback by that news. Holy shit.
Well, tonight was the big night for NXT as they made their TV network debut. Now, to say that this move had Vince written all over it would be a big understatement ever since AEW made the announcement of their TNT shows being on Wednesday nights. So it makes sense for Vince to do something like this to create competition, and come October 4th, I won't choose sides because I will watch and cover both shows when they happen. Several big matches. Well, that too. Also the magic of DVR too, Ash.
There are 23 other letters in the alphabet, though, so you shouldn't discriminate the other 20.
Okay. Well, several big matches were announced for tonight's show, including a women's fatal 4-way match, a street fight, and a North American Championship match, but there were some surprises, to say the least. So with that firmly in mind, let's talk about NXT.
これは三羽白ク乱闘です。
The opening match was a fatal 4-way match to determine the new number one contender to the NXT Women's Championship, as it was Io Shirai, Bianca Belair, Mia Yim, and Candice LeRae. Needless to say, for the USA premiere, Ashley, fans got a first-class look at how good the women are in NXT.
Absolutely. You know, as they rightfully should. It's one of the strongest bits, I would say, of that division. It gives a showcase. I mean, look how many of the NXT women are... Oh, wait, all four. But, you know, what I'm trying to say, a lot of the women that are the mainstay of WWE now all started from NXT, so... Such
as Alexa Bliss, we got the Iconics, Asuka, for sure, longest reigning NXT Women's Champion. Kairi Sane's also like for...
Natalya.
Yep, technically Natalya, too.
She did a few little bits here and there on there. Come to think of it, I think everybody.
Nikki Cross, when she was part of Sanity.
Everybody. It's like Smash. Everybody is here.
Mm-hmm. All four women...
Especially Stephanie. Stephanie is the first ever NXT Women's Champion because it's Stephanie.
If you say so. All four women were in top four.
I didn't say so.
Well, you just said it. Well, anyway.
She says so. She says so.
All four women were in top form, but when you break it down, 3 of the 4 women involved in the match have already had a match with Shayna Baszler for the NXT Women's Championship, so the only logical choice was to go with the woman who hasn't had her match yet, and that's Candice LeRae. Now, even though that...
Are you trying to say that this shit was predictable?
But here is where there's an exception to the rule, is when the execution is there. And the execution of the match was extremely well done. So I can overlook that because the match was still entertaining.
Yeah.
The finish of the match...
Dead. What? Oh, well, if you can watch it, that is.
Yeah,
That's going to be a separate article at the end.
Oh, definitely. The finish of the match was Candice LeRae hitting a springboard lion salt on Mia Yim to pick up the win. After the match, Candice would have a standoff with Baszler and her cronies. I'm sorry, her entourage. And apparently now the match is set for 2 weeks, which I believe is October 2nd, which is also which falls on the very same day that AEW is having their women's match with Nyla Rose and, oh, I'm sorry, her name begins with an R. Riho, thank you. So, think about that. Up next, Cameron Grimes took on Sean Maluta. Time filler. This is all this was. It was time filler.
How could this be considered time filler? It lasted 7 seconds.
Well,
time not filler.
Yeah. Needless to say, Maluta got buried like fuck. I mean, who did he piss off in the back?
Yeah, but he got to make his name on the big stage, according to Triple H.
Yeah, even though...
I see it as... So Cameron Grimes is Hulk Hogan? Except he dresses up like a Dollar Tree version of Cornelius Crummels? Or the other one that I can't remember from Shikara?
I was going to say he looked like a dime store ripoff of James Storm. I guess it's just a matter of perspective when it comes to that. However, up next...
Sonny Defarge, I remembered his name. Give the credit to the Shikara guys. Cameron Grimes stole that gimmick.
Next, the NXT North American Championship was on the line as the Velveteen Dream defended the title against Roderick Strong of the Undisputed Era. And just like how you guys got a showcase of how good the women are, you definitely saw what makes Patrick and Roderick special as well. Dream just oozing charisma and Strong showing the USA Network why he's known as the Messiah of the backbreaker. Roddy repeatedly targeted the back of the Dream with a variety of different backbreakers. Even at one point had Dream locked in the stronghold, but Dream would end up making it to the ropes. I'm sorry, I worded that wrong in my write-up. Strong struck with the end of Heartaches backbreaker, but was unable to pin Dream. Then the Undisputed Era made their presence known. Key factor here. Because when it looked like Dream was getting set to go up for the Purple Rainmaker, behind the referee's back, Adam Cole would strike with a super kick, which sent Dream reeling into another end of Heartaches by Strong to pick up the win and become the new North American champion. So now, as it stands, the Undisputed Era has all the gold in NXT, and this is how they would end the first hour of the show on the USA Network. And actually, just like I said with the Fatal 4-Way, even though it was predictable that Roderick Strong was going to be the new North American champion, the execution was still there, and it was still good.
Yeah. Oh, no doubt. No doubt on that, for sure. So, at this point, considering that's how some of the people would have only seen, because there might be some people that don't have a network, they just watched a bit on USA, which might explain what happened later, which we'll get to in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
So, in terms of presentation, this is starting to rear its ugly head.
Sadly.
Don't get me wrong, the lighting is very good. The new design of the stage and where the commentators are is pretty sensible. But some of the sort of getting camera cuts every few seconds, which hasn't been on the NXT product really of note 4, is starting to creep in, which I'm a little bit concerned for, because let it be its own thing. Please, for the love of God. And then, refreshingly, I can do this.
Okay.
I can do this. And I can do this. Because the commentary team was perfect.
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Okay, they have the awkward situation of having to do adverts because they're on USA, which I'm still not used to, really.
Mm-hmm.
But they gelled, they flowed. Moro had some great lines, which you'd expect.
Mm-hmm.
Nigel was conveying the sort of stuff. Beth was being the right sort of not annoying, which she has been when she sort of got into the role a few months back. She was conveying the stuff, you know, standing up for the faces where Nigel can obviously stand up for the heels because he's British. All good villains are British, aren't they?
Okay.
It all started with Rickman. Just brilliant. It continued on to the second hour, but I just want to sort of give it sort of a claim. The bit that I just remember was the whole, because obviously Moro's catchphrase being of Italian descent.
Mamma mia.
Except, no, Mamma mia yim. I was just like, yes.
Is that the same that I might have said that in a dream of mine?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hang on.
Now before we get to the second hour, should we mention some of the problems that the WWE Network site in itself had problems?
Yes. We were both trying to watch the second hour.
Mm-hmm. On my end, it sent me to the sign-ins page 3 times in a row instead of letting me log in.
Yeah. Apparently, the network went down. So when they couldn't cope with the demand for an NXT show. Can't wait for the next WrestleMania, because remember, the next WrestleMania will be coming. Will be the first on this new network. There were quite a few problems with SummerSlam. Less problems with Clash of Champions, because I guess not as many people were going to see it. So I guess the next big day is Saudi. No, sorry, I was going to make a joke and say people were going to watch the Saudi show. The next challenge is arguably Survivor Series.
Yeah.
And if the network stutters there as well, they're gonna be shitting their pants when it gets to WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Then people be actually sort of like, why isn't it working? Get me a refund. And it won't be because, you know, they don't like the product. It's because it don't work.
Well, now on to
Speaking of a network, we might as well put up here.
Okay.
The communication issue about NXT is pretty shit. Because you look at all the adverts, 2 hours every Wednesday, NXT on USA starting this Wednesday at 8. Except it isn't. Because for this week and next week, because USA has to keep showing the end of Suit, apparently that's still a thing.
No, 2 more episodes left of that. Well, the way they build it after NXT, yeah, because tonight was their second to last episode, and next week will be their last episode. And I think they have a spin-off of the series too now.
Yeah, but that's probably going to be on a different night, so
yeah,
don't affect it. So, because obviously Tuesdays is going to become free because we're down for Smack going to Fox. Oh, hang on, sorry, down Smack going to
Upside Down Fox.
Yeah. Well, you know, it was owned by an Aussie originally. I think it still is technically, because that didn't happen as part of the Disney thing. So Fox Channel still has to be theirs because Disney can't own it because ABC. Sorry, legal ramifications. Speaking of legal ramifications, though, and Australians that own media companies, there was a big thing in the last couple of days about Sky Sports in the UK tweeting, "We're not showing NXT." Which, admittedly, it is understandable because as of January, BT Sport over here will be showing it and not Sky. So why would they want to put the cost up of just showing it for the next, 8 to 10 weeks, let's say, before they lose the sort of license, I shouldn't say license, but the deal to be able to broadcast it and it go to the other broadcaster. Maybe they will, when they get the chance to in January. We'll hope. I don't know what they have on late at night on enough of their channels, even though I've got the service. But I normally don't watch them at night unless it's UFC. So at least I'll be using it for something else. At least late at night. But in terms of that, people in Canada could only watch the second hour because the first hour of NXT isn't syndicated on any of their networks. I don't believe it's on the Score or anything. It's only because NXT was only on the network. It doesn't. So basically, anybody else that isn't in America
America
has to wait 24 hours until like late Thursday, early hours of Friday, depending where you are in the world, to be able to catch the live show that was broadcast on USA. You can get away with it for these next 2 weeks because, of course, the Suits thing is pushing the second hour onto the network, so there is something there for people to watch. But when it goes to USA outright, people are going to be in the lurch. On that front, there is still no announcement for international TV deals yet for AEW's product either. All they're saying is TNT. No news on Canada, no news on Britain, no news on anywhere else in the world. We're 2 weeks away. People want to know, want to be assured of the situation that's going on. So I can't be bothered to get the upside down Vince. Vince and Tony, Cody, whoever it is that AEW wants to send out to actually say something about it, word needs to get out soon, because it's not just American fans that are going to be the people that are interested in your product.
Yeah, but with them being like a startup company in a sense, with them being like a startup company in a sense, with them making their television network debut, would they actually have the money in a budget of sorts for them to actually reach out to an international crowd?
Yes. The rumors are that deals have already been done, it's just they haven't been announced. They're only announcing them last minute because who the hell knows?
Well,
whether they're trying to put together some sort of like $9.99 a month streaming thing, which I'm wondering whether might be a thing for AEW, especially considering how the Impact Plus thing just got added to Fight TV as a subscription thing where you can watch all the Impact archives from, the pay-per-views from 2002 to the Impact shows from 2006.
Or they can just go to Twitch and watch it on their Twitch channel for free.
Well, not all the archive.
Well, it's on like 24/7.
Yes, but that's obviously only select stuff. If you want to watch, you've got to know when it's, because there's no sort of like network schedule for listing what times the stuff is on Twitch, unless it's for the special things, like the watch along when it's broadcast on Access. But that's another sort of deal for Friday and whatever. Even if it does stays Friday, who knows? They haven't even announced if they're going to change anything in terms of Down Smack. I don't think they will, because obviously with I might as well call it the proper name now. with SmackDown being 2 hours and going 8 till 10, and I believe still at the minute, at least where it is on the Pursuit channel, Impact is 10 till 12. There is no sort of problem with that at the minute. However, with the announcement that they're going to Access TV, because they bought them basically, where they move to on Friday, if they move on Friday, of course, complicates the issues. The weird thing is, I would not be surprised if they try to go Tuesday, which means you have Raw on Monday, Impact on Tuesday, NXT and AEW on Wednesday, Beyond Wrestling doing their thing from October on Thursday, and then SmackDown on Friday. So we're going to have to do daily videos, Billy.
Mm-hmm. We're going to have a lot to talk about.
Whip.
Okay. Okay.
I'll get the whip. I'll get the whip for self-flagellation of it. I don't want to watch this. I don't want to watch this.
Well, anyway, let's get to the second hour, which was on the WWE Network. The first match was Pete Dunne taking on Arturo Ruas. Now, unfortunately, I don't know much about Mr. Arturo, sad to say, but from what I saw from him tonight, actually, he did look pretty impressive.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember who that was before he got changed. Before he amalgamated to a different man. Let me have a quick look. Oh, he's Brazilian. Oh, the former Adrian Jaude. Oh, he's actually only been at the Performance Center, so he doesn't really have any history.
Okay. Well, that makes sense.
Which I actually have no problem with, because, you know, he's been... You know, he's got 2 pages on Cage Match, which says something. He's been doing NXT house shows since July of 2016. So he's been there for 3 years doing his stuff.
He does have a t-shirt on WWE Shop from what I saw.
Yeah, but everybody has now.
Yeah.
Which looks like, take fucking clip art from Microsoft Word on Windows 95 and stick it on a bloody shirt.
And selling it for $30 too. That's the part that pisses me off. You have what looks like a $10 shirt for $30. WWE, are you fucking kidding me here?
It is worth noting as well, I'm just looking, he has been on the last sets of Evolve shows. So I don't know whether he's wrestling this weekend as well. But he has been on quite a lot of the Evolve shows since... he had an appearance in October 2018, but he's been on every single numbered show since Evolve 123, which was the weekend of the 2 weekend shows that they did right Mania weekend.
I want to say this about
proof that Evolve is WWE's, NXT's developmental now.
I want to say this about the Bruiserweight. He has this unique talent of making me say, ouch, repeatedly whenever I'm watching any of his matches. Whether it's from his strikes or the joint manipulations he does in the ring.
Really?
Bending somebody's fingers back? Ruas, I'll give him credit. He had some good strikes of his own. He looked good in the match, but it wasn't enough, as the finish of the match was Pete Dunne bending the fingers of Ruas back in a submission. And all I'm going to say here, Ash, is ouch, 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 and ouch.
Yeah.
Makes me want to grab my finger brace right now, if you know what I mean.
Probably.
Oh, up next, it was Zia Lee taking on Aaliyah, who had Vanessa Bourne in her corner. Now, for those of you who know me, and have been following the channel for some time now, you know I have a weakness for Asian women. I think there's a big fat duh could be applied here. Now, I have seen several of Zia's matches before, especially when she was in the Mae Young Classic. The only reason I know Aaliyah is because I have her as a neon card on WWE Supercard. Now, with that being said...
Okay.
Sadly. Now, with that being said, this was not one of their better matches. Zia had a springboard botch in the corner, and I believe, from the way it looked to me, that she didn't get a good enough bounce off the middle rope to get up to the top for the second leap. Zia still had some good kicks, catching Aaliyah with a spin kick and then a windmill kick on her to pick up the win. But like I said, we've seen Zia Lee before have some really good matches, and sadly tonight, this was not one of them.
Maybe it's because they've all got generic t-shirts.
Oh, God. For $30. Yeah, like we're going to pay $30 for that, WWE.
Now, I'm trying to think whether you've missed something.
As far as I know, no, not yet, because we were on the verge of seeing Kushida in action, because he was originally scheduled to take on someone named Denzel Dejournette. I hope I'm saying his name correctly. But he would end up getting surrounded and taken out by NXT UK's Imperium faction. Then out would come the WWE United Kingdom champion, All Hail Walter, to proclaim that they are Imperium and that they believe the mat is sacred, and then spoke something in German before Kushida came out and said that this was his time, and now that he had a problem with Walter and the Imperium faction. So now one has to wonder, Ash, if we're going to see Kushida being pushed towards the United Kingdom Championship.
I mean, it's a weird direction, but okay. So I'm just trying to look at Denzel Dejournette, from North Carolina. Amateur wrestler, finished high school with 27-8 record for attending Appalachian State University, where he placed 8th in the NCAA heavyweight division in 2017. Qualified 3 times for the NCAA championships and piled a 113-35 win-loss. Got signed by WWE last July and has been doing house shows and the like mainly for the last year or so. I believe it's the first time he's shown up on TV, but to be basically cannon fodder, he did a perfectly good job.
Yeah, but needless to say, the appearance of Walter and Imperium was quite a shock to everyone tonight.
Yes. Especially because, you know, he did say how he didn't want to be located out of America.
The guy right here, guys. The guy right here.
From the way it sounds, he is gonna be there every bloody week, seemingly, because of the whole, you know, Imperium is about making it look professional, and this guy doing with his whole waving and stuff, that is not professional. We will take care of the unprofessional. So I guess that explains what happens later on the night, but at that rate, he hates Velveteen Dream. God. Volta versus Heavy Machinery just comes to mind now. Please put that on pay-per-view. Maybe on one of the adult channels.
Oh, God.
That's gonna be a hot fight.
Oh, my head hurts now. Up next, it was a number. Oh, Jesus! It was a #1 contendership match for the Cruiserweight Championship as Oney Lorcan took on a returning Lio Rush. Now, for those of you who remember, Rush was the little midget who talked for Lashley for months ago because apparently Lashley couldn't get himself over as a heel on his own. Anyway, Lorcan and Rush gelled beautifully in this match. I mean, Rush, for being gone as long as he was, he showed no signs of ring rust. Lorcan was as hard-hitting as ever in this one, even with that jump start he had at the beginning of the match with that running blockbuster. Lorcan's main focus...
This was a CCW match.
Yeah, to a degree. This is what it was.
I shouldn't say CCW because then people just think of Death style hardcore match.
Yeah, like Nick
Keep
fucking
in mind,
Gage.
Both of them, along with Gulak, came out of CCW. Hell, Gulak for quite a while was trainer at CCW's dojo, so he may have had a little bit of training off here and there. You know, Lio Rush is their answer to Joey Janela, considering the feud that they had as well. You know, it was Joey Janela's push of Lio Rush off the ladder that Lio no sold that probably got him hired by Hunter.
Well, as far as this match goes, Lorcan's main focus was on the leg of Lio Rush, locking on a half crab multiple times, and even transitioned into an STF, but couldn't get Rush to tap out. Lorcan would attempt another running blockbuster, but Lio countered into a standing Spanish fly and followed it up with a frog splash, which kind of resembled RVD's 5-star frog splash, to Oney Lorcan to pick up the win and become the new #1 contender to the Cruiserweight Champion. But will this match happen on 205 Live or NXT?
205 Live, in theory, is only a week left that we know of. Because whether it's going to continue when it moves to Fox on Friday nights, we don't know.
Well, considering we had a #1 contendership match for the Cruiserweight title on NXT, would that be any kind of an indicator that they might use NXT for the Cruiserweights?
I'd have thought so. That's the wide-standing rumor about it all. That the pick of 205 Live will get amalgamated into spots here and there for sort of filler, if you want to call it that, for the main card every week. Although with the amount of storylines that are already going on NXT, that's just going to make things even complicated. Speaking of complicated,
the main event was a street fight as Matt Riddle took on Killian Dane, and it didn't take long for this fight to spill to the outside of the ring. Before you knew it, they were both in the crowd. Dane would strike with a kendo stick and a senton as they continued the fight to the backstage area, where we saw various people, including the Forgotten Sons, before they made their way outside where the truck was, and for some odd reason, a table...
There was garden furniture there.
Yeah.
With 2 other guys. And Volta in a t-shirt, because apparently he lost his tracksuit the 45 minutes since the start of the bloody show on the network.
And then, just like that, Walter and company got involved with the fight. Then the Street Profits showed up, and then pretty much the entire locker room for the evening were mixing it up.
Forgotten Sons, other people,
Pete Dunne.
I can't remember.
Pete Dunne was there.
Yeah, but other people that I can't remember. I remember seeing them on Twitter saying the show ended with this person standing tall, and it's like, this is somebody that I think maybe has had 4 NXT matches over the past few years on television, and they're suddenly there. Like, were you just there to sort of get attention? Because then it somehow got back to the ringside. And then the brawl went to ringside as well. And then officials started coming out and holding Riddle and Dane apart. And I'm going, this is a street fight. What are we doing? Oh, wait. Kevin Dunn might be reducing the television side of it. So by default, we have to have a Nitro ending.
I mean,
Street fight ending in a no contest.
Makes no sense.
And ending 9 minutes early when they're on the network and they don't have any time restriction.
It really boggles the mind when you think about it. I mean, how can a street fight end in a no contest? Why end the show 9 minutes early like that? It doesn't make any sense.
Why they couldn't have more of a brawl that just kept going on and sort of kept going on, as if to say it was lost even more control than it already had. It's weird. They literally did the opposite of what they did on Raw with the whole distorting the Firefly Funhouse graphic. That went on for too long when it should have been shortened. Fight backstage should have kept going rather than, oh no, let's press the pause button here because we need to do something for social media.
And then what? William Regal's announcement, for those of you who don't know, after they went off the air, William Regal came out and had this to say.
This street fight will continue next week on USA, and I'm going to give you both some incentive because the winner will face Adam Cole in an NXT Championship match.
Now, if they were smart, they would have ended the show like that. They would have included Regal's announcement of the street fight now becoming a #1 contendership match for the NXT Championship. That would have been a perfect way on USA. It would have, yeah, and it still would have made a better way to end the show than what they did. I mean, I don't know what else to think. But speaking of that, let's go to overall score and thoughts. Ever since the news broke out about their USA Network debut, NXT was advertised as being a 2-hour show. That wasn't the problem. The problem I think many people have had, as we discussed earlier in the review, is how they chose to work it, with the first hour being on the USA Network and the second hour being exclusively on the WWE Network. Suits, get the fuck off TV. Be that as it may, the first hour was great. The women's fatal 4-way match was a strong opening. The North American Championship match did what it needed to do. Pete Dunne makes me want to grab my finger brace. Seeing Walter and Imperium was a nice surprise. Don't judge Zia Lee from her performance tonight. Leah Rush and Orny Lorcan were fantastic, and the ending to the street fight left a bitter taste in my mouth. Overall score of NXT tonight gets a 3.5 out of 5, with best match of the night going to the women's fatal 4-way match, with worst match of the night sadly going to Zia Lee and Aaliyah. I still think Zia is a great performer, but she was not at her best tonight. Ash, over to you. Overall score and thoughts?
I was going to sort of give it a... But then the ending to the whole 2-hour thing happened. So it was going to go down to 5. But then I have to pull it down another half because of lack of communication over the show airing how it did in America, and the fact that international audiences are screwed and have to watch, despite the fact, you know, a lot of people in the UK like Killian Dane. A lot of people fucking love Volta. Me and Matthew must be like, oh. We're like that guy in the, what is it, Turkish Spider-Man that's just like that meme. I think it's Turkish. It's Turkish Superman. All I know is this guy with an afro going. It's just random. It epitomizes me and Matthew's thoughts about Volta. So overall, a 4. It delivered. It's showing good signs that AEW is going to have to make sure that they've got just as good a product when we actually get to when they go head to head. Because as it stands, I'm going to have 2 feeds open. One with AEW maybe on the tablet, and the other with a feed, because WWE doesn't decide to provide international ways of watching the thing live. You bastards. I don't know who to blame for that one. I don't know which sign to hold up.
Well, guys, that's been our thoughts on NXT tonight. What we want to know from you guys out there, everyone out there right now who are watching this either on YouTube, Twitch, or listening to us on a podcast site, we definitely want to know what you guys think. What are your overall scores of NXT? What are your picks for best and worst match of NXT tonight? We definitely want to hear what you guys have to say. Be sure to put your comments in the comment section below. If you guys like this video, be sure you slam that like button like a champ. And if you guys want to see more of WrestleDOWN right here on WGS-TV, you know the 2 ways you got to do it. You got to leg drop the subscribe button for Walter and hit that bell icon to turn on the notifications so that way you guys will never miss out.
No, you should not. Just for health and safety, you probably shouldn't try and leg drop Walter.
No, don't leg drop Walter. Don't leg drop Walter. He'll chop the living shit out of you. Don't do that to Walter. But anyway, guys, from the Studley Man Ashley, I'm your friendly neighborhood wrestling gamer, reminding all of you guys out there to just stay awesome. Bye, guys!
Oh shit, it's upside down.
Or was it?
What? What?